Good morning, guys. It's Steve here at V Twin Racing Channel. Happy Sunday morning. So, a race this weekend, the All Harley World Shootout was a wash. 2 days. I think there were 6 pairs of bikes down the track. 6 pairs total before one of them about lost it on the big end because of water coming back up. Topic today: support and save your local tracks. There are so many good facilities like this, and I'm going to go ahead and flip this camera around so I can show you guys around a little bit. Okay, here we go. So this is Wilkesboro Dragway. Okay, this is kind of a historic track in the foothills of North Carolina, and I've been to many drag strips in my life, and I have, the place is old, the place is a little rough around the edges, you can see, but it's fully functioning. It's a great little track. The track surface itself is very spot on. They have decent modern restrooms. They've got a concession restaurant, whatever. But it looks like, I'm just guessing here, probably 400 feet of concrete, and it's an 1/8 mile track. It's got hills on either side of it, so it's got a nice thunder to it. But it's a great little facility. Like I said, historic, has been around. I don't want to say exactly when the track opened because I don't know for sure. But I'm guessing somewhere in the mid to late 60s. And there's their winner's circle right there. Good place to be. So in all my years of racing, I have never seen anybody try so hard to get a race off and dry, and constantly trying to dry this track, where when I came in Friday, it was sunny, and within a couple hours, we had a hell of a downpour, and then it turned to a drizzle. And by the time it was drizzling, these guys were out on the track with equipment pushing water off of it and working their asses off. And you can see this is a beautiful place. It's really a decent track. The surface is real good and smooth. And when it's dry and prepped, it hooks real good. So I guess the point is, you know, a lot of us have our lives and things going on, and we're doing our thing, and I spend more money than I should doing what I'm doing, that's for sure. But the sad fact is, if this place closes for any reason at all, it will not reopen, because the county already decided that these fences need to be back a long ways away from this wall. And it would cut out the majority of the racer parking in this area, because you can see you've got a giant hill and another giant hill, and that is all actually solid rock. They had to blast that out to make that, just that parking spot on the other side, on the base of that hill. So it would be cost prohibitive to reopen this place, and it actually pass inspection. So, and that's a catch in the clause, I guess. So if it ceases to operate, it will no longer be opened again. And this track, along with a lot of other ones, is in real danger of being done. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what kind of racing. I don't know. Let's talk about that for a minute. Okay, so generally in all forms of drag racing, the scene, the culture has drastically changed since I got started back in the late 80s, early 90s. Bracket racing used to be where it was at, and the car counts were high, so spectators didn't really factor into that. Gate fees, you know, the car counts were so high that it supported the track without the spectators. You know, most local tracks will put on a couple special events every year. They would have like a night of fire or a 4th of July thing, and they'd have a couple jet cars and fireworks and bring out some people, you know, to spend their money and watch. But I don't know, I'm not sure when the trend started, but the whole no prep scene, and it's with cars mostly. Bikes starting to gain a little traction, I guess, with that, but they I don't know what I'm trying to say. The cost to run the event has to be lower because you're not actually spending the money on the glue and stuff. A lot more people come to watch the heads-up racing. It's more exciting, obviously. The cars are really fast and they're sketchy and they slip and slide all over the track, and maybe the insurance is higher for those events. I'm not sure. And again, I don't know the nuts and bolts and the ins and outs. You guys can drop a comment if you know more about it than I do. If you are a local track operator, nobody wants to see these tracks closed. They really don't. But the unfortunate part is, you know, for many reasons, economy, our political atmosphere right now, uncertainty, you know, even myself, I'm really limiting myself to traveling to 4 or 5 races in a year. That's it. I haven't been going to any local tracks because it's hot. They shut the tracks down because of the heat. You know, it's been 100 degrees for the better part of a month down here in North Carolina, and if it's not hot, it's raining like a monsoon. We're constantly getting tropical storm and hurricane rain through here, so this has really been a burden on these places, and they're probably got a very low profit margin to begin with. And I would imagine the majority of these tracks are owned by one person and leased and operated by another, because the person that owns it don't want to fight the fight. They lease it out to somebody else that will try anyway. But if we don't put more effort in to supporting these tracks, the only ones that are going to be left are just the big ones. And there's nothing wrong with the big tracks. Those are where all the big shows are. That's great. But your local track is just a place to be, hang out with your friends, have some fun, race your vehicles. I don't know. I on my part, I could do better getting out every once in a while and going to a local track. The problem with my outfit is a lot of local tracks don't support motorcycle racing. And it's not the track's fault, it's the participation. It's hard to have a bracket program for motorcycles when 4 guys show up, 3 guys show up. You know, there's no really point in wasting your time with it. So where do all the motorcycles go, you know? The cars even the counts are way down. A lot of guys don't want to spend the fuel to drag their shit, you know, an hour or however far away they are to come and watch it rain, which is exactly what I did this weekend, and I don't regret it. I spent $40 at the gate to come and camp here for the weekend, so really that's not a bad deal. I mean, that's what I did. I camped because, you know, you can see my stuff in the background there. We're one of the last ones to leave out of here. It's Sunday morning, so all I can say is I don't know what the answer is. We all need to do better at supporting these tracks. It's expensive. This whole deal is expensive. and it's getting worse. So I spent, let's just do the math. So I didn't even actually fire either one of my bikes. So I put $100 worth of fuel in my motorhome. I bought $150 worth of groceries and stuff. I spent $40 at the gate. I didn't pay any entry fees because he called the race. So, you know, I'm 2 hours away from this track where I live, and I'm still $290 into it. And that's, don't seem like a lot of money, but it is when you're running on a budget. So, but hey, you know, we could all come together and do just, if we did just a little bit better, maybe it would make a difference. Things that, you know, they might change up. I know a lot of guys love watching the no prep stuff. They'll come to a track. They got index classes for the cars, you know. I'm also interested in race cars. Misty and I each have a Mustang that we're slowly putting together, you know, as we can, buy parts. And at some point would love to get into that 80, 750, 70 index, any of that, wherever we would fit in. Would love to get into some of that stuff. That would be great. It's kind of the best of both worlds, you know, heads up and bracket. But I don't know, you know, if it survives until we get there. But what I can say is a lot of places like this one all over the country, even some bigger tracks, are folding up, and it's sad. And I come from Ohio. Central Ohio is where I'm originally from, and you guys may have seen a couple videos on Marion County International Raceway. So that track opened in 1970. I know that track very well. Opened in 1970 by two brothers, Tom and Bill Guthrie. I spent my youth watching my dad race there. In the late 80s, early 90s, I started bracket racing there. My son started racing there, Sean. So a couple times it was all three generations, so to speak, racing at the same track. Unfortunately, Bill passed away, and then later his wife Shelby also passed away, and the place was left to her son Mark and his wife Kelly, and they fought the fight like hell trying to keep the place open. I think they leased it out to I don't know the guy's name. Did a bunch of no prep stuff there. It looked like it was successful, but then they just decided they were up and relocating to another track somewhere around in the country. And I don't have a better way of saying this. Some rich people with way more money than brains bought the place, publicly destroyed it on video, tearing everything down, gutted the whole place, destroyed all the buildings. The only positive is that they completely redid the entire surface, but all the timing equipment, the buildings, the bathrooms, the tower, everything is gone. They bought the place for, I don't know, I don't remember what it was, somewhere between $200,000 and $600,000, $250,000 to $600,000. Now that you know, they've garnered so much hate for what they did there, they're trying to sell the place. And all they did with it was they own a collection of supercars, like the $1 million cars. I don't even know what they got, but so that was a place for them to run the shit out of their cars, I guess. But that place had a real strong local support system for many years, but now it'll never be back. Nobody in their right mind would pay $2 million, which is what they're asking for a damn 30-acre field with an airstrip on it, which is all that's left. Nobody in their right mind is going to pay that much money for that, unless a developer buys it and builds housing, you know, subsidized, or not subsidized, but builds a damn neighborhood out there or something. So that's where these tracks are headed. Like I said, we all just got to do better a little bit. I think if we all just did a little bit better, it might make a difference. Think about it. You guys have any thoughts on this subject? please leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And that's all I got. Have a good day.